Now let's see what happens. Today's project is this clapped out Kawasaki Bayou 220. It's pretty much a pile of junk, but hopefully at the end of this video it's going to be a running pile of junk. Someone has already started working on this thing. I have a mystery bag of bolts here, the air filter cover, the air filter box, ignition switch, top of the air box, another ignition switch. This front rack is not bolted up. None of this front plastic is bolted up. Gonna go ahead and take the seat off. Oh, wait till I show you guys that gas cap. I can take the front of it off here now. And this was pretty much all how it was. I just slapped it back on there so I could haul it in my truck home. Here's the state of the wiring. We have the positive going to the starter solenoid here. Got a little fuse. Got some broken wires here. I think this goes to a starter relay or something. Rectifier is here. Here's the negative of the battery cable. None of this connected. And I think this is like accessory power, or probably to charge up your battery, like a trickle charger. The current state of this gas tank, I don't know what's going on with that. Nice fuzzies, light white dust all around here. On the front of the quad, we have multiple disconnected wires, which I'm assuming are probably the ignition. All of these are not currently plugged in. These are going to the headlights, which look completely broken off here, which is great. Here's the neutral and reverse lights, I'm guessing. The CDI looks to be plugged in. Here's the cables for the handlebar switch. They look okay. I think the first thing I'm going to do is look up a wiring diagram and start checking things. I found a wiring diagram, and if you look close to where my thumb is, you can see that the ignition switch is just a 2-wire, and it's the brown and the white wire. I found the ignition in the back compartment of the four-wheeler, but I don't have a key for it. So here's the brown and white. I see the brown and white here. I think I'm just going to plug these two together since it's just a 2-wire. So it's like the key will always be on. See if that does anything. I have a new battery for this thing, so I'm just going to move this out of the way. See what other goodies are in here. 12-volt socket, spark plug, bunch of junk. Should probably clean these terminals, but we'll see what's going to happen first. This is a straight up rat's nest. Nothing's sparking. Just going to check a few things first. Obviously, we have power here. We have power to one side of the starter solenoid here. Not very good though. Suspect. We don't have our relay in here. I don't know. I'm hoping when I hit the start button, one of these is going to get hot. We'll see. So, okay, hitting the start button, nothing's happening. Okay, we got power here. I found the starter relay back here in the back compartment. I don't really know if it's worth hooking up. I'm guessing it's probably bad. We have these skint wires here too. I'll just try it. Yeah. Okay, let me see if I can test this. I have my ground already on. This is going to put out 12 volts. I'm just going to touch it to the bottom here. I can hear the relay going. So what I need to do now is hook up my Multimeter and test for continuity across these two when I do this. Okay, continuity. Not getting anything across these two. So this relay is bad. Alright, I actually did find a relay here. It clicked right away. I don't know if that was good or bad. Okay, now when I'm hitting the starter, it's clicking this solenoid. I'm not getting anything on this post, which is weird. Getting it down here on the actual cable. Okay, now I think I need to test the solenoid. Before I go messing with this too much, I'm just gonna hit the starter and then jump this solenoid and see if I hear the starter run. Ooh, okay. The starter sounded pretty bad, but it did start. I'm gonna check this fuse real quick before I take it apart. Okay, check this fuse because I can't really see in there. Fuse is good. Gonna go ahead and take these off and clean this up. Drop that one. Might as well drop them both. Got these terminals cleaned up. Tighten them back down here. Put the fuse back. This plug. Now I'm getting it on the post at least. All right. At least it turns over. Now let's start checking some real stuff. Alright, I guess before I turn it over too much, I should check and see if there's any oil in it. There's no dipstick. There is a sight glass, but it's like kind of fogged up. It's got a little bit of oil in it and it looks pretty bad. I don't think it's been changed in a while. But we can continue on and see if it'll at least start with this. Now we can have a look at this spark plug. It's a long one. Okay, very black. Definitely didn't have like a lean seizure or anything. Gap looks good. Let's see if she's got any spark. Oh yeah, good spark. Let me spray some lubricant down here too. I just noticed the throttle on this thing is completely frozen. I can't hold the throttle open, but I'm just gonna check the compression like it is. Hopefully it'll be like, I don't know, over 100 or something. Okay, we're good to go. It's like over 150, so I'm satisfied with that. It's got spark and compression. Now it's time to go through the carburetor. Since I know this gas tank is full of crap anyway, I'm just gonna go ahead and take it off. Alright, now we can really see what we're doing. Looks like there's just one clamp holding it on in the front here. Oh, that was easy. Go for the throttle cable first. It's got this nice boot on it. And this looks like it's OEM Mikuni. Oh, it's like stuck in there. The slide is stuck in there. Wow, must be really junked up. Choke cable came out good. Let me spray some stuff down in here, maybe we can break this loose. Throttle cable is good. It's just stuck in this slide. I don't think this carburetor has been gone through yet. This gas is pretty thick. That one came off kind of loose though. Usually they make like a cracking sound almost. Oh man, this, yeah. I think this is like the same stuff that was in the gas tank. Wow. Yeah, that's pretty rough. This gasket looks pretty good. Hopefully I can save it. I don't have another one. That's gonna be a pain. I bet all this is gonna be tough to get out. I might not even take that jet out at first. See if I can get the main jet out and just float off of here. Oh yeah, this thing is looking rough. Look in the bottom of that. I'm using a little punch here to try to get this float off. The arm is really stuck, so I've just been tapping it back and forth. And I have this little one here. Oh, I think I got it. There we go. Wow, look at that. It's like black. I don't even know what. Now I'm gonna check and see what this fuel mixture screw's at. Pretty much 1.5 exactly. There's the spring. I'm gonna give this pilot jet a quick turn, but oh, I got it. Wow, look at that thing. I did not think it was gonna come out that easily. That's as far as I'm gonna take it. Now I'm gonna hit everything with some brake clean, throw it in the ultrasonic cleaner, and put it back together. Look at that water. These came out really good though. Time to put it all back together now. So I'm going to start with the pilot jet and the main jet. Now I'm going to put the fuel mixture screw in. There's a spring and the screw. Now I can put the needle and the float in. That went in much nicer. And then this piece goes on like this. I did end up taking out this drain screw, so gotta put that back in. Should be ready to go back on. Alright, I'm still having trouble with my slide sticking, so I'm gonna have to clean this up a little bit. Much better. Throttle's working good. Choke is working. Before I try to start it, I'm going to try to fix these two wires up here. I'm just going to cut them and solder them back together and put some shrink wrap on here. Also put it back in this little rubber boot too, since I think we're done with it, hopefully. I got a new ignition system. This is not exactly the same. It's a 4-wire, not a 2-wire, but I think if I use the brown and white, it'll still work. So I'm gonna go ahead and plug this up as well. Okay, the battery's hooked up. Gonna go ahead and key this on. It's in neutral. One of these lights should be coming on. I'm gonna switch them. So I think that's neutral. And we should be able to hit the start button. Yeah, okay. This one bulb must be bad. But now if I go to reverse, it comes on. We're good. I also just noticed both the back brake lights are working. The headlights are working as well. High beams and low beams. Gonna go ahead and turn this fuel on. This is an external one. Nothing's dribbling out yet. Put the choke on. Let's see if she starts. It would definitely help if we did the spark plug and stuff. Okay, we're saying goodbye to the rusty spark plug here. It's a DR8ES. This is an L. I don't know what that means. Probably like long life or something. Probably means I paid too much money for it. Now let's see what happens. Okay, started right up and then cut right off. That does not sound that great. Hopefully that's just the valves. I'm going to try to adjust the carburetor a little bit. This thing's running pretty rough, so I'm going to go ahead and check the valves and the timing. The timing chain doesn't feel loose. No, I just need to get this inspection cover off. Oh, that was kind of loose. That's suspect. There's the timing inspection cover. I can see the timing mark now. It looks like it's timed up correctly. This dot right here is lining up with this. Alright, this intake valve is really loose. Should be around 0.008 or 0.2 millimeters, and this feeler gauge will just slide under there like, I mean, there's a lot of gap here, so hopefully that's what my ticking was. Gonna go ahead and loosen it here, see if we can't get it adjusted. Okay, it's looking good. I'm gonna go ahead and set the exhaust to the same thing here. See what it's like. It's not bad, maybe just a little bit loose. See how that works. Alright, take 3. Let's see if it does any better here. Junk is definitely running. It's smoking like a diesel. I think doing the valves definitely helped out the noise. I don't hear it clicking as bad, but it's still got some sort of knock or something going on where it's acting like it wants to shut off. So I think we're probably gonna have to pull the head and the cylinder off and see what's going on. I'm gonna check and see what this oil is like. Well, it's got oil. I don't see a lot of sparkles in it. I think this thing had way too much oil in it. I'll show you how much is in this pan. It's still dripping out. I think I'm gonna call it good. I also noticed they didn't have like a crush washer on this drain plug, so I got one of these. I'm gonna go ahead and plug this back up. We'll check the filter and look at how much oil is in here. It's supposed to be 2 quarts. I mean, I don't know how big this pan is, but looks like a lot more than that. Let's check this oil filter. Oh, nice. This filter definitely doesn't look the greatest. I'm seeing a lot of trash, but I don't see a lot of metal or anything, so hopefully we're good. Same with this. I have a new filter here, so you should just be able to swap it out. For this filter, the large end of the mounting pin goes in first. Gonna give this thing 2 quarts here. Okay, let's see how this thing runs with 2 quarts of oil in it. Backfiring back through the carburetor. Yeah, that noise is the blowback from the carburetor, so something's still not happy. It looks like there might have been gas in here too. So it's definitely over full. It was almost a quart over full. I'm going to tear this thing back down to do a leak down test. I'm going to go ahead and take all the covers that were off before, as well as this pull starter. I think there's a nut behind here that I can hold on to. That didn't sound good. I was setting up for the leak down test, and I realized this cam chain is actually pretty loose. It has a manual tensioner, so I'm going to see if there's anything left in it. I'm just going to loosen this nut here on the top of the tensioner. When I have this thing loose, I'm just going to turn the motor over a little bit and see if that gets any more tension on it. It does feel tighter now. Everything is set up here. I'm gonna only go to like 40 pounds, but I can tell already that it's not leaking down much, if any at all. It's not leaking past the valves. If I hear anything, it's maybe a little bit past the rings, but go up to 50. Yeah, it has about 2 pound loss at 50, so that's like 4%. That's pretty much the healthiest you're gonna get out of a Kawasaki Bayou 220. I'm gonna take this exhaust off and see if I notice anything. There's a lot of oil and stuff around here. The whole stud came out, it looks like. Hopefully this rusty old bolt comes out. Probably a bad idea, but I think I'm going to start this thing open header and just see what's going on. Okay, yeah, she's definitely smoking. This thing is still smoking and backfiring out of the carburetor, and I don't know why. So I'm just going to go ahead and tear the top end down, inspect it all. That way we know exactly what we have. I'm going to get this cam chain tensioner off. It does look like it was extended pretty far. It's a manual tensioner, so I'm going to loosen this and see how much travel we have left. I don't know, we had more than what it needed though. Cam gear should be ready to come off now. Wow, that's on there really tight. Guess not that tight. No broken head bolts this time. I think I'm going to try to take this brace off here so I can get the last two. I'm going to take both these oil lines off. Oh, the whole head wants to come off. This is going to be easy. And these are banjo nuts, and they have washers on each side. Gotta be careful. Yeah, there it went. They're copper washers. I think this head should be ready to come off, so I'm just going to tap it with my rubber mallet here, hopefully separate it from the cylinder. My cam chain I'm not really worried about. I'm probably just going to drop it and get it back. I don't think I can take everything off at one time, but I'm going to try. Ooh. I see some carnage. Okay, first thing I saw right away is this cam chain guide is tore up really bad right here. I don't know if you guys can see that, but it's I can see the metal here. So this thing was definitely running with a very loose cam chain. There's like gashes in it actually. Wow. Look at that buildup. There's so much oil that was getting past the rings. Oh yeah, this thing had water in it or something, some sort of damage here. Let me get a light. Wow, yeah, this cylinder is torched. Right here, you can see that it was rusted pretty bad. There's a big rust spot. I think this head is probably in pretty decent shape. I bet that if I just take these valves out, clean them, put new valve stems in, it should be okay. A lot of oil though. Look at this piston here. This is on the intake side. It scored really heavily. Look at how much oil and buildup there is like on the top of the piston here. It was running real rough. A little bit of scoring on the exhaust side, not much. But I also noticed there's some wear on this pin. You can see the heat marks here. These rings are not stuck. These oil rings don't look great. And these piston rings are a little bit sharp on the edges. I think what really happened though is somehow it got water in the oil. Draining the oil again, and yeah, it looks like there was probably water in there. Now I know I was so over full earlier. I need to take this flywheel cover off in order to change out this timing chain guide and probably the timing chain too. So I'm just gonna whip this off of here and probably the shifter. Just gonna hold the crank. There's a tiny little Woodruff key here. Of course, I'm not gonna be able to remove that, or am I? That has the ground on it. That one had a little silicone on it for some reason. I mean, it definitely looks like someone's been in here with all this red silicone in here. I mean, and there's a pile of it. See if this thing comes off of here. Oh yeah, look at all that silicone. There's a little bracket on the back here. This flywheel looks a little rusty. This bearing right here stayed on, but it actually goes in the cover of the stator cover. It's pretty tight on there. This bearing still feels okay. Now we can grab this gear that connects the starter to the one-way gear. It's looking pretty rough. I think at this point I've seen enough where I'm just gonna go ahead and pull this motor and go through it. I don't really trust any of this work. I mean, anyone doing this sort of business is not something I really want to run. With all this rust on the flywheel and the starter gear and piston and cylinder and everything, I just need to go through it all, figure out what I need to replace, and we'll get it cleaned up and back together. Undo this reverse cable here. Hopefully. Hopefully she'll come out of here now. That was pretty easy. Smart if I unplug some stuff. This video is getting pretty long, so I think I'm going to end it off here. Once I saw the rust and all this other homemade stuff, I pretty much knew I had to do a complete rebuild. So I'll order up that flywheel puller. Next time we'll tear it all the way down and get this thing running good. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.